Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lily. I'm the person behind Crafts and Crumbs if you're new here, and if you're not new here, thanks so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. So I recently got an Amazon order of 4 books that I ordered, so I thought it would be really fun to do a little mini book haul together. So I've linked them down below if you're interested in taking a look. And also I have a little announcement and kind of some thoughts to share towards the end of the video, so make sure to stick around for that. As always, make sure to comment down below what project you're working on. I'd love to hear it. Grab your project, start working on it, and let's start talking about the books. So there is an overarching theme to all of the books that I ordered. They're all by authors that I've already read other books written by them, and I love them, so I wanted to try other books that they have. So the first 2 books that I ordered were written by the same author. They're written by Goodwin, who is also the author of Diva, which if you watched my top 10 books of 2025 is in that list, because I loved her writing so much and the story and how she did everything, so I wanted to pick up her other books as well. So the first book that I picked up is The American Heiress by Goodwin, and it's about this young woman in the late 1800s who her parents have a lot of money and want her to marry rich, but they don't only want her to marry rich, they want her to have a title as well. So she and her mom go to England to try to find her a husband with a title. And it's all about her experience being in England and the different cultures and how she doesn't really like it there, and she's trying to understand the different kind of cultural ways that they have there. As a Taylor Swift fan myself, it really reminds me of her song I Hate It Here. If you're also a Taylor Swift fan, I'm sure that you know. It's a song where she talks about how she doesn't like where she is at that time, and she imagines herself like in the 1800s in England. And so I keep thinking of that song whenever I read the book because it gives that same kind of vibe. So I did start this book. I was actually in the middle of a different book and I stopped it and I started this book, and now I'm debating if I should go back to the other book. So we're doing a little bit of a book ping pong, but that's okay. So I'm almost 100 pages in and it's like starting to get a little interesting, but I feel like there is some like world building and character building that's going on, especially in the first 100 pages, which I guess makes sense. So I'm excited to see where this one goes. So that's the first book, The American Heiress. The second book that I ordered by Goodwin is a book called Victoria, which looks like this, which I think is really nice. The cover is really, really pretty. And it's basically a book about Queen Victoria and kind of what happened to her and her life. I haven't started reading it yet, but it sounds like it's going to be kind of like The Crown, which I watched and loved. So I think it'll be really interesting to see that kind of time. I haven't read much about Queen Victoria. I don't know much about her except that she was really, really tiny. So I think it'll be really interesting to kind of read a story that's about her based on her. It's not a nonfiction story, but kind of get the idea and the general vibe of the time. So I'm really excited to read that one as well. So moving on to book number 3 that I bought a book called The Lobotomist Wife by Samantha Woodruff. I read her book, The Trade-Off. If you watched my top 10 books of 2025, I mentioned it there also. Such a good book. I loved her writing. It was about a woman in the 1920s who wants to be a part of Wall Street and wants to trade at the stock market, but they don't let a woman trade in the stock market. So it's about how she finds her way there leading up to the crash of 29. Super interesting book. Definitely really recommend it. But this book, The Lobotomist's Wife, is a fictional story about a woman who's married to a surgeon who I think invents the lobotomy or really believes in the lobotomy and does a lot of lobotomies or something around those lines. I haven't read the book yet, so I only know from the back of the book. So he does a lot of lobotomies. He really believes in the process, and his wife, who is the main character, views him as this larger than life hero who does so much to save all these people. And back then they viewed the lobotomy as something really good that can cure mental health and be really, really beneficial to patients. Obviously we know that that's not the case now, and I hope no one does lobotomies because they sound horrible. And the story kind of follows her and what she thinks of lobotomies, and then her husband has a patient who has the baby blues, which we now know is postpartum depression, and recommends a lobotomy, and she believes that that's not the right course of treatment, that it's really dangerous, that it's going to hurt her. So she has to kind of get in between her husband and the patient to try to save her, and it's kind of all about that story and that era of medicine and life. And I think it sounds really interesting. I've heard about lobotomies before and I've studied a little bit about them, but I've never really read a fictional story about it. So I think it'll be really interesting to learn about that time period in life because it wasn't that long ago, and I think that's really important to learn. So I'm really excited for that one. And the last book that I ordered from Amazon is a book called Atmosphere by Jenkins Reid. I'm sure some of you have either read the book, heard about the author, read other books by her. I read her book, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I loved. It was so good, and I loved her writing. So I really wanted to try another book of hers, and a lot of people recommended Atmosphere by her. It's also a Good Morning America book club book recommendation, so I take that as a good sign too. So the book follows a woman in the 1980s who loves physics and astronomy and all those kinds of things, but never believes that she'll be able to be an astronaut or work at NASA or anything like that because she's a woman. So then NASA comes out with a request looking for women to work in the space program and maybe go to space. So she applies and gets into the program. This is all from the back cover. No spoilers. I haven't read it yet myself. So she gets accepted into this program, and it's about the people that she meets and kind of what she goes through. People have loved this book and really raved about it. So I'm really excited to read it. I am actually planning to read it last right now in the order of the books that I'm reading because I want it to be our next book club book. So I'm waiting for our next book club meeting, and I will bring it up then. Hopefully they'll say yes, and then we'll be able to all read it together. So if you're interested in reading the book, pick it up, but hold on because I'll let you know if it is picked for our book club book, and you guys can read along with us and be in our book club, which will be really fun. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be sure to let you guys know what we picked. So those are the books that I picked up on my recent Amazon order of books, and I'm really excited to read all of them. I also wanted to touch on the announcement or kind of topic of conversation for this part of the video, which is that I recently reached 100 subscribers, which I'm so happy, excited, grateful about. I didn't really expect it. I started this channel without really a goal. So there was never a goal of getting 100 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. It's just for sharing my passion for knitting and for crafting and for doing things at home and home body activities, which I love. So I'm so happy that you guys enjoy them too. I love hearing your comments down below about the projects that you're working on and about the sweaters that I make. And I think it's really fun. I think something really special about the knitting community is that we love to share the things that we do. I've been kind of reflecting since I hit 100 subscribers on this process and what it's been like for me so far, because I've never been a creator really in any type of digital form. I've always been a YouTube viewer and I've watched TV and things like that, but I've never been on the creating side. So it's been really interesting. And I've kind of been thinking of what that means to me, how I feel about that. And a sentence that's really followed me throughout this is that the path is smarter than the person walking in it. And I really believe in that. I think sometimes you just need to start. It's hard and it can be a little scary, but I think sometimes you just need to start doing things. I feel like in nowadays we overanalyze so much and try to be so analytical, and sometimes there isn't so much to think about it. You just have to start and see where it takes you. We have no idea where things are going to lead us, where life is going to lead us, where we're going to live, who we're going to meet, what we're going to do. And I think there's something really special and fun about just starting. It doesn't have to be perfect. My videos aren't perfect. My knitted sweaters aren't perfect, and it doesn't have to be. Part of the fun is to just create and share what we love with other people. So I'm really grateful that I have the opportunity to do that. And that's something that I'm taking for myself, I think, for this year, and also just in general to think of. Sometimes you just have to put one foot forward and always keep stepping and see where life leads you, because we don't know where life can take us. So thank you so much for being a part of my journey, of our journey together, to creating this community of knitters and crafters together. I'm so grateful for this space, and I'm really excited to keep on continuing creating videos that hopefully you guys love and that I enjoy creating, and I can't wait to see where it leads us together. So that wraps up our video of the 4 books that I ordered and a little bit about reaching 100 subscribers and just kind of my thoughts around it. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss my process on the Friday slipover and my next projects, which I'm really excited about because I have a wool warehouse order that should be arriving any day now. So hopefully for the next video we'll do a yarn haul and talk about the projects that I'm going to be making with that yarn. So definitely be on the lookout for that video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!